Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
So where can people follow you on social media?
Okay, so Instagram and Twitter. Just follow me at Casey at Night. CASEYATNIGHT. Casey at Night. That's Instagram and Twitter. Or just go to my website, casey-carter.com.
Gotcha. Pretty simple, right?
There you go.
Pretty simple. Well, that's good. Awesome. But thank you for coming on. And if you want to tell Lorenzo he can buzz in, that would be awesome.
I will do that. Thank you, love.
You're welcome. You too. Happy Thanksgiving, honey.
Same to you.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty neat that we had Miss Casey Carter on. We were supposed to interview her at Exotica, and then we got a little busy and weren't able to do much, but I'm glad that she was able to come on. And then I think Lorenzo is going to call on, which I think he's calling right now. Oh, hello. How are you, Lorenzo? Are you good?
Yeah, very good.
Good, yeah. So we had Casey on for a while, which was pretty good.
I heard the fun.
So that's good. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys were a couple or if so I had asked her and she's like, yeah, we've been together 7-8 years, something like that. So.
Yeah, that's right. I am going to get her on that one.
Well, if you were listening to the show, then you would hear the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I heard it. She knows I'm going to get her.
That's pretty funny. So she wanted me. Well, first I want you to introduce yourself to our listeners. You're a male dominant, correct?
Yeah, male dom. And when I said the 40 years, she forgot that I started around 20, and I'm 60 now.
Ah, see, I was right. It was 40, right?
Yeah. Male dom started around 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, back when it was on social media, so it was back pages of newspapers and who you knew, and you had to really establish yourself, and it was very
difficult,
very underground,
right?
Yeah, very underground. So been involved in that, and also like we were talking about the law enforcement for 35 years, also.
Right.
So it's been an interesting ride.
It is interesting because actually Casey and I were talking about how most people, they come to a dominant for role play, right? So here you are as a cop, and then you're doing your male dom stuff underground and working as a police officer, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then what did you do when you had somebody who came to you that you didn't tell them you were a police officer and they wanted some cop and robber kinky role play? So.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, I'm trained to do things in a different way than anyone else, unless you're trained in law enforcement. So, when we're talking cuffs, I'm trained in real handcuffs, how to position them.
Right.
Put them in, there's a certain way that you put them in the carrying case so that they can be taken out with one hand and put on properly, and how to really do that. And then weaponry, the things that I can do that I was really trained to do, and a lot of people are not trained to do.
Mm-hmm.
The law enforcement part would really surprise them afterwards.
They're like, oh man, you're going to arrest me.
Yeah, well, it's funny. You get people that walk up to you and with their wives, it's like, I want you to handcuff my wife. And I'm looking at them.
You're
and
like,
then
really?
I tell them, hey, yeah, so what happens when she enjoys it? And that's not all I'm going to do once I have her handcuffs. Now it's not fun anymore,
They always ask you, what are you going to do to my wife?
Yeah. I would tell them, they want me to handcuff that. People always want to offer their lady up for the officer, why don't you handcuff my girl for me and all that kind of stuff, until she acts like she may even enjoy it,
Right.
Oh, yeah. But, you get a lot of everything.
Of course.
It's interesting, like you were saying, to interact with people like that and be able to talk to them and they'd be shocked that, wait a minute, he really knows what's going on here and he's not just here to lock us up,
Right.
Yeah, because way back in the day, it was really secret knocks. You couldn't publicize any of that.
Well, yeah, because it was looked at like it was some sort of sexual perversion that was disregarded, correct?
Yeah, they were deviants.
Right, yeah, deviant.
It was bad. It was bad. The decade of the 80s was a lot different than the 90s. Social media didn't really kick to, say, 95.
Right,
so
right.
Prior to that, you didn't have the social media like you have today. Now you can be down for a day, go online and get a Dom pass, and and for $19.95, you get two,
exactly,
two Doms, and so it's really gotten really out of control now.
Oh, I know. Now it's crazy. It's funny. I'm on FET sometimes, and I see these young boys, like 20 years old, and they call themselves a master. So they message me, and they think because, they can be a keyboard warrior. And I haven't got any of these in a long time, but there was a few of them. I have to, repeat the story. They're quite comical. The guy messaged me and goes, so how long you've been a mistress for, mistress? So I'm like, do you know how to fucking read English? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, look at my fucking profile. I'm like, apparently you can't even follow fucking directions, and yet you call yourself a master. So wait a second. I said, you don't know or understand protocol, and you couldn't fucking dominate yourself out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone 20 years old, they haven't even done it before social media, so they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. And a lot of them think because they see videos of not so per se males, but women, young dames who are half nude, number one, which nudity is a submissive nature, not a dominant nature. They think that because they see these videos or these images of women talking shitty to a sub, that's how you dominate somebody. That's not how you dominate somebody. That's fucking verbal abuse,
Yeah. Social media has really it's brought the whole quality of the domination down.
I agree. I absolutely agree about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, anybody
something has to be done about that too, because it's being accepted too much.
Well, exactly. Right.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Every day on Instagram or Twitter, there's all these new mistresses. And look, I don't care where you come from, who you are, but don't go on there and start fights with people who have been in the true lifestyle for a very long time.
That's right.
To me, it's okay, you're a internet sensation for 3 weeks. And why do you call yourself that, number one? And who the fuck are you to even talk to me that way? They think that I'm beneath them. And I'm like, you don't talk to your fucking elders that way.
Yeah, that disrespect, like you said, really goes for any humans now. There's no respect anyway for an adult.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%.
Definitely in this
BDSM or not, there's no respect anywhere.
Yeah, there's no respect. And in the BDSM, community, there's certain protocols. When we met you and Cupcake in Jersey, there was no interaction with, say, me and Cupcake until basically you okayed it at the scene. There's certain protocols that, that people just don't do, and they're being allowed to get away with it. And, that's got to change because it's really getting out of hand.
Well, I agree. That's I was talking to you and Casey, and then I had said, oh, you can speak to them, Cupcake. Because overall, Cupcake has to either ask my permission to do specific things. Pretty much everything, but, we'll just leave it at that. So, and the other thing is, Cupcake is not allowed to speak to another dominant unless I give permission.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
Right. And then you have some subs that will go and talk to other doms behind their dom's back. That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, so it's just getting out of hand, and 2022, this has to stop.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I think submissives should know their place. First, they should learn their place, be taught, learn, and then know their place. And if they can't do any of the three, out you fucking go. End of story. Next, you find someone who's a real submissive, who really wants to submit, who knows the rules and understands protocol, and be happy with it, you know? Oh, so Casey wanted me to ask you about the Book of John.
Yeah, the Book of John.
So what is that book?
The book has some of a life story that I guess you could say of my beginnings and into the lifestyle and the training.
Right.
And some of the extents of the dominance and I guess the bondage and the sadistic nature that it could be taken to, and then some, is added on.
Right.
It kind of brings it from the beginning to show that you don't start off as a Dom or master. I mean, you got a lot to learn, a lot to experience, a lot of service,
Actually, yes. In the beginning, I was a service slave to a dominant couple.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was a mistress.
Yeah. And they're even going to take the time to teach you. Not everyone even gets that. I was lucky enough through my father to be able to get into some circles. They're not just going to let you in, especially back in those days.
Right.
But there was several times I'm, cleaning up some of these establishments afterwards. I mean, there's a lot, to learn to get into that. So John kind of brings you from some of the beginning all the way to the wildness of John and some of his buddies that all have special fetishes that they like to, partake in, different bondages and things like that to a crazy extreme. And it's very, it's the way that it was written is very unique. Casey has her time that she adds her words and their words of wisdom, and John has his words of wisdom. So it's a very unique way that it was written. Yeah.
So can people find this book?
Yeah, it's under on Amazon. You go to kccarterbooks.com, and like you said, you'll see her face or the mask on the cover. I think John has a gas mask on that cover.
Oh,
black
interesting.
Gas mask. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, like she said, all of her books has.
Oh, yeah, all of her has a mask on it, right? Because she said there's another Casey Carter or something.
Yeah. But
Casey has a doppelganger.
Yeah, but I'll definitely, send you, so you see some of the covers and things like that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Because, I would like to read some of her erotic stories. She told me she writes them, like, on the train or whatever.
Yeah, very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. And we'll send you definitely that.
Right. Now, she does a podcast or a show, and do you do the show with her?
Yes, she has Casey at Night, and sometimes we collaborate and talk about any topic and safety tips also.
Right.
In the dating field now, people are taking extreme chances in some of their social media, some of their advertisements for dating, and we show examples such as photos that people take for the media where they may have the refrigerator in the background or their office where they sit, and we're able to pinpoint so many ways to target you, to locate you.
Oh,
like say I'm a stalker and all that, and things that people don't even think about, but we talk about that in some of her shows. They're on YouTube now. You can go into Casey at Night. But
yeah, I want to see some of her stuff.
Yeah, just like one example, I was saying Valentine's Day when you get your flowers.
Right.
You may zoom in and see the company name on the flowers. So I can call the company, complain that my flowers went to such and such a location. I could just make it up, and I'm upset. And a lot of people will just tell you, no, we sent it to this location. So now I have where you work at.
Right.
And a lot of people take photos with their name tag, their barcode, the company colors. If we look at the board, you'll see calendars with numbers, appointments. You'll see car keys hanging around. I could tell your whole life. I could see reflections in your glasses when you take a picture that you're looking at your laptop. I might be able to sell information like that.